بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we begin a very important lesson in Arabic grammar on incomplete verbs, or al-afalu and naqisatu. This is a very useful topic because these verbs do not behave like ordinary verbs, and unless students understand that difference clearly, they can become confused when reading Arabic sentences, especially Quranic Arabic. The first big idea on this page is that incomplete verbs are grammatically close to nominal sentences. That is a key sentence, and students should remember it well. In ordinary verbal sentences, we are used to thinking in terms of fi'l, fa'il, and sometimes maf'ul bihi. But with incomplete verbs, the sentence behaves differently. It resembles a jumla ismiya, a nominal sentence. That is why the page says that the term al-fi'l naqis is different from a normal verb. So what happens instead? The page explains that these verbs do not take the usual fa'il and maf'ul bihi in the normal way. Rather, they work on a nominal sentence and affect its two parts. They take ism, the subject, usually in rafa, khabar, the predicate, usually in nasab. So in simple words, these verbs enter a nominal sentence and change the grammar of its two parts. This is why the page says, in effect, these verbs enter a nominal sentence and affect its two parts. The next important point is that there are different types of incomplete verbs, and they differ in meaning and function. Some are fully conjugated, such as kana, while others are more limited, such as laysa. This is a very important distinction. Students should not assume that every incomplete verb behaves exactly like kana. Some are broader in usage, and some are narrower. Now the lesson moves into the first major section, sisters of kana, akhawatu kana. These are some of the most famous incomplete verbs in Arabic, and they are essential for students to know. The first verb is kana, which means was, or sometimes is, depending on the teaching context. The Quranic examples, kana nasu ummatan wahidatan, men were one nation. Wa kana Allahu aliman hakiman, Allah is all aware and all wise. So kana is one of the central incomplete verbs, and students must get used to it first. The second verb is sara, meaning to become, or to attain a state. The example given is ala ilallahi tasirul umuru, which the slide explains with the idea that all matters return or evolve to Allah. The important point here is that sara carries the idea of transition into a state. The third verb is zalla, meaning became or remained. The example given is qalu na'budu asna'man fanazallu laha akifin. They said, we worship idols and remain devoted to them. So here zalla gives the sense of remaining in a state. The fourth verb is bata, meaning spent the night. The example is walladina yabituna lirabbihim sujadan wa qiyaman, and those who spend part of the night to their Lord prostrating and standing. So here bata is tied to the night and describes a continuing state during the night. Then the slides highlights two more important verbs that indicate transitions connected with times of the day. The first is asbaha, meaning to become or became in the morning. The example given is fa asbahtum bi ni'matihi ikhwana. So, by His grace, you became brothers. Here, asbaha carries the idea of entering a new state. The second is amsa, meaning to become or became in the evening. The example given is Fasubhanallahi hina tumsuna wa hina tusbihun. So exalted is Allah when you reach the evening and when you reach the morning. The important lesson here is that asbaha and amsa often describe transitions or states associated with specific times. So far, we have demonstrated incomplete verbs affect the nominal sentence, and among the most important of them are the sisters of kana, which often indicate being, becoming, remaining, or entering a state. Now the lesson moves to the final section of the page, types of incomplete verbs based on functionality. This is a classification chart, and it is useful because it helps students see that not all incomplete verbs belong to one single family only. The first type listed is the verb kana and its sisters. This is the main and most familiar group, and students should master this group first. The second type is negative verbs, such as laysa, ma zala, and ma bariha. These are important because they express negation or continuation in special ways. The third type is verbs of proximity, called af'alul muqaraba. These express ideas like almost or nearly. The fourth type is verbs of praise and blame, called af'alul madhi wad-dammi. And the fifth type is verbs of surprise or wonder, called af'alut ta'ajjubi. So this final table is preparing the student for the next page. It is saying, today, we began with the core family, but incomplete verbs are broader than only kana and its sisters. There are other groups, each with its own function and style. So the lesson of this section can be summarized very clearly. Incomplete verbs are different from normal verbs because they work on nominal sentences. They take an ism in rafa and a khabar in nasab. Among them, the most important are kana and its sisters. But there are also negative verbs, verbs of proximity, praise and blame, and wonder. So the memory line for this slide is: incomplete verbs do not build ordinary verbal sentences. They enter nominal sentences and affect the ism and khabar. And the second memory line is: kana and its sisters are the main family, but not the only family. Now we move forward the lesson on incomplete verbs, and this page expands the topic beyond kana and its sisters. Here we are introduced to several other important groups: negative verbs, verbs of proximity, verbs of praise and blame, verbs of wonder, and finally, a set of Quranic examples showing the idea of past continuous or habitual past meaning. So this is broader than the first one, and students should understand that we are now looking at different functional groups within the world of incomplete verbs and related patterns. Let us begin with the first section, negative verbs. The page lists laysa, mazala, mabariha, mafatia, and madama. These are important because they help express negation or continuity in a sentence. The first is laysa, meaning is not. This is one of the most famous incomplete verbs, and it is used to negate nominal style meaning. The example given is alaysa lahu bi ahkamil hakimin. Is not Allah the most just of judges? This is a beautiful Quranic example, and students should remember that laysa is different from ordinary verbal negation because it works on a nominal type meaning. Then we have mazala, meaning still or continued. The Quranic example is wala yazaluna mukhtalifan. They continue differing. Here the idea is not simple past only, but ongoing continuation. This is why the page translates it with the sense of still or continued. Next is mabariha, also carrying the idea of still continuing. The example given is falan abraha al-arda. I will never leave this land. Here the sense is that the state of not leaving remains or continues. Then comes mafatia, again with the meaning of continuing. The example is Tallahi tafta'u tadhkuru Yusuf. By Allah, you will not cease remembering Yusuf. So here again, the idea is continuity. The remembering continues and does not stop. Then we have madama, meaning as long as. The example is madamu fiha, as long as they remain in it. This is another very important expression for students to learn because it often comes in conditional or continuous contexts. So the lesson of this first section is that these verbs often express negation together with continuation, duration, or persistent state. Now we move to verbs of proximity, called af'alul muqaraba. These are verbs used when something is almost happening, about to happen, or is approached in possibility. The first one is ka'ada, meaning almost or nearly. The example is yakadu al-barq, yakhtafu absarahum. The lightning almost snatches away their sight. This is a very strong Quranic example, and it shows the meaning of nearness or near occurrence very clearly. The action is not fully completed, but it is very close. The second is asa, meaning perhaps or it may be. The example is Kala asa rabbukum ayyulika aduwakum. He said, perhaps your Lord will destroy your enemy. So this group of verbs teaches students how Arabic expresses nearness, expectation, or possibility. After that, we move to verbs of praise and blame, called af'alul madhi wadhdami. These are highly expressive and often come in Quranic and classical Arabic to praise something strongly or condemn it strongly. The first example is nima, meaning how good or excellent. The example is ni'mal maula wa ni'man nasir. He is the best guardian and the best helper. This is a very powerful structure of praise. Then another praising form appears. Wa hasuna ulaika rafiqan. What a beautiful fellowship. This is again a structure of praise. Then we see another strong praise expression. Nimath thawabu wa hasunat murtafaka. How good the recompense, how beautiful a couch to recline on. Again, these are not ordinary descriptive sentences. They are emotionally strong and evaluative. Then the page gives bisa, meaning how bad or evil. The example is wa labisa al-mihadu, an evil resting place indeed. So this is the opposite side, condemnation and blame. So this section teaches the student that Arabic has special verbal patterns for strong evaluation, not just neutral description. Now the page moves to verbs of wonder, called af'alut ta'ajjubi. The page says that they are typically found in one of two patterns, ma af'ala, af'il bihi. These are famous and very important patterns of exclamation and amazement. The first example is Fama asbarahum ala an-nar. How patient they are in pursuit of the fire. This is on the pattern ma af'ala, and it expresses wonder or amazement. The second example is Asmi bihim wa absir yawma ya'tunana. How clearly they will hear and see the day they come to us. This is on the pattern af'il bihi, the second standard form of wonder. So the lesson here is that Arabic does not only describe or narrate. It also has fixed, powerful patterns for amazement and exclamation. Finally, a section called Past Continuous Tense, Al-Fil al-Madi al-Istimrari, with examples from the Qur'an. This part is useful because it shows how Arabic sometimes gives the meaning of used to or continued to, depending on the context. The examples include وَلَا تُسَأَلُوا عَمَّا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ, and you will not be asked about what they used to do. وَلَهُمْ عَذْهَابٌ عَالِمٌ بِمَا كَانُوا يَكْذِبُونَ, and for them is a painful punishment because they used to lie. وَقَدْ كَانَ فَرِيقٌ مِّنْهُمْ يَسْمَعُونَ كَلَامَ اللَّهِ, while a party of them used to hear the word of Allah. وَدَلَّ عَنْهُمْ مَا كَانُوا يَفْتَرُونَ, and what they used to fabricate has left them. تِلْكُمُ الْجَنَّةُ أُرِثْتُمُهَا بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ. This is paradise, which you inherited for what you used to do. وَرُدُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ مَوْلَهُمُ الْحَقِّ وَدَلَّ عَنْهُمْ مَا كَانُوا يَفْتَرُونَ. They will be returned to Allah, their true Lord, and what they used to fabricate will be lost from them. فَلَا يُجْزَى الَّذِينَ عَمِلُوا السَّيِّئَاتِ إِلَّا مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. Those who did evil deeds will not be recompensed except for what they used to do. These examples show students that when kana combines with a present verb, the meaning often becomes something like used to do, would do, or continue doing, depending on context. So the overall lesson is that the world of incomplete verbs is wider than just kana and its sisters. It includes verbs of negation and continuation, verbs of proximity and expectation, verbs of praise and blame, verbs of wonder, and also expressions that give the meaning of habitual or continuous past. So the memory line for this lesson is this: incomplete and related verbs do not all do one job. Some negate, some continue, some approach, some praise, some blame, and some express wonder. And another useful line is, kana may also help give the meaning of used to when joined with a present verb. Alhamdulillah, this brings us to the end of this lesson. If you found this video useful, we warmly encourage you to join our online complete self-study course at Al-Qur'an Institute, designed for you to learn at your own time and space, where you will receive unlimited access to our PDF materials, multiple choice questions with answers, exams, and a certificate of completion. You can enroll through our website www.alquraninstitute.net or contact support directly from the website. If you benefited from this video, please like and share, subscribe to our channel, and press the bell icon to receive all future lessons. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make your Quranic Arabic journey easy, fill your heart with clarity and love for His words, and reward you abundantly in this world and the hereafter.